you guys can see by the video, we're talking about my lenses and what do I use them for. We have 4 lenses here, but we have one on the camera that I'm filming with. Reason why I came up with this idea is I've been in situations where I'm like, oh, I want to get this lens. Should I get that lens? And it's like, you don't really know. There's a whole bunch of hype going around on, oh, this new lens came out. It can be great for this and this. It could get everything you may need all in one lens. But you have to remember, there's so many different types of photography. One lens might be great for what you might see on YouTube with one YouTuber, and then the lens they don't like is the lens that's great for you. Hopefully this video gets you guys to weed out a lens you're thinking about buying, or hopefully it makes you jump the gun and buy a lens right now while watching this video. Without further ado, we're gonna get into my 35mm. This lens is beautiful. G Master 35mm f-stop 1.4. The times I use this, you can use it for a lot of different things, but the times I use it personally, if I'm doing an event and I want to get a nice wide shot of the family, or I might want to take a picture of the decor, or they might have a table with the cupcakes and sweet treats. I can get that all with this. What's great about it is you get a nice wide shot, and you can still get it at that 1.4 aperture. Another way that this lens is very useful is for video. A lot of videographers will tell you that a 35mm, if you don't have any other lens, if you don't have the zoom lens, to help, with the distance or with too much moving around, if you want to go prime, 35mm can get the job done. Me personally, I don't use this as much as I should. I'll explain why later. There's a reason why I don't use it as much as I can, right? And actually, I'll get into it now. The lens I'm filming with is a Sigma 24-70, and the aperture is 2.8, and that's the reason why I don't use this much. A 24-70 is probably the most useful lens that you can have in your kit, and it's because of how versatile it is. For you, especially at 2.8, you can zoom in at 70mm, have it at 2.8, or you can zoom out and get a nice wide angle shot at 24mm, and you can still get it at 2.8 millimeters. The 24mm is actually what I have this at right now. So when I do events, that's the only lens I use. 24-70, and I can get everything done with that one lens. So if I want to get a big family picture, all I gotta do is zoom out to 24, or I can even zoom it out to 35, get that. If I wanna get the decorations, if I wanna get the sweet tree table, if I wanna get whatever the case is, I can even do video with this. Whatever the case is, 24-70 can help you, with a lot of stuff. The only difference, what I would say, is that with a 35mm, you can get this at 1.4, but if the budget does not allow, or if you don't need it at 1.4, this is where this lens can come into play and help you out tremendously at 2.8. 24-70 can even be great for weddings. I have a wedding coming up soon, and that is gonna be my main lens on my A camera, and I'll probably have this on my B camera, but we didn't even get to this yet. But yeah, 24-70, that is probably the first lens that anybody should get in their kit. It can help them in many different ways, and then after that you can go into other different prime lenses. At the end of this video, I'll give you my suggestions on what I think you should have as like my top 3. I'll give you my top 3 lenses at the end of this video. 50mm G Master 1.4. This is my favorite lens. This is my favorite focal length. Everything about a 50mm is perfect for me. I think that focal length at 50mm, like the subject isn't too far from you, or you're not too far from the subject, depending on how you think about it. And then getting it at the 1.4 gives you a nice good separation from the background, from the subject. And like this, if you're not using the 24-70, if you had to use one prime lens, I would go 50. Me personally, I think 50, I use 50 for my lifestyle shoots. I can use 50 if I'm doing, I can even do wedding portraits with a 50. Like, you can use the 50 is probably the most, like, not common. I'd say common because it's like, it's just, man, it's perfect. The 50 is just perfect. I can probably talk about this 50 for, I can make a whole video separate just about the 50. That's how much I love this 50. To get into the next lens, 85 millimeter. 85 mil at 1.8 aperture. This is not the G Master version, but it's still a great quality lens. I thought I was going to use this lens much more than I currently do. And the reason why I don't use it as often is because I have the 50 mil now. A lot of people tell you about the Nifty 50. That was probably my first lens that I bought. And basically it's this lens, but not G Master and not 1.4. It's this lens, but at 1.8, non-G Master. You can get it used for maybe $200, $250, $300 max. That's a great beginner lens to get. I actually traded mine in when I went to get this 50 mil. But yeah, that's a great beginner lens. I'm pretty sure they have the Nifty 50 for each company. Sony, Canon, Nikon, all the rest. The 85 millimeter is great for portraits. You get more of the separation from the background. You get more bokeh, as people would say. For 1.8, it's for it being a non-G Master, it's not a cheap lens. I want to say I spent maybe like 800 on it. So it's cheaper than most, but for the quality you get from it, it's worth it. Again, the reason why I don't use it as often is because I prefer 50 mil as my focal length, as my go-to focal length. 85 mil, if I was to take out my 85 mil right now, it would probably be for like a grad shoot or maybe an engagement shoot, but I'll probably go 24 to 70 for both of those. But really a grad shoot, I think a grad shoot would be nice. Another reason why I'm not too fond of the 85 millimeters, I feel like I'm a little far from the subject. If I want to direct them on poses and, sometimes you got to shout at them. So again, that's where the 50 mil comes nice. Last but not least, we have the big boy, 70 to 200. This is a great lens to have. For me, I mainly use this lens when I shoot at church. We have a nice big sanctuary, so I can be on one side of the sanctuary and I'm shooting bow, 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 bow. I'm shooting somebody on the other side of the sanctuary. I'm zooming in right on their face. You can see the pores. Like, that's what you can do with the 70 to 200. If I'm not using it at church, it would be for like a big event where it's, like huge open space, that's where this comes into play. I'll be honest with you guys, the only other time I used this was I did a wedding proposal. One of my friends, he was proposing to his girlfriend at the time, now fiance, and it was on a beach. You can even see the pictures on my Instagram, Hefes Visuals. Again, that's JEFES Visuals, VISUALS. On Instagram, also at my weddings page, JVS Weddings _. You can see it was the proposal on the beach. Again, if he's about to propose to his girlfriend, she already has met me too, so she couldn't really, I couldn't have her to be able to see me. She already knows, she knows how to do photography, she already knew something was up. But I had to be far away, and this lens, at 200, being able to be 200 millimeters away and getting it at 2.8, it does the job. It's worth it. Do I think that it's something everybody needs in their kit? Nah. But do I think it will be helpful when you get into certain types of shoots? Yes. Do I use it that often? No. My top 3 choices, and I'll say it in order. Number 1, 24 to 70. Again, like I said before, 24 to 70 is so versatile. If that is your first lens, you might not need a second lens unless you really want to get down into like the 1.4 aperture. That's the only thing about the 24 to 70. Majority of the time, they're going to be 2.8. That's the perfect first lens for everybody. 24 to 70, 2.8. I can say that 10 times. 24 to 70, 24 to 70, 2.8. Second, 50 mil, 1.4. If you can get a 1.8, that's good too, but 1.4, you have a nice separation. It's a perfect prime lens to have. It's a perfect focal length. And like 50 mil, like you'll see the subject isn't too far from you, but they're still at a nice distance. It's the perfect prime in my opinion. Especially at 1.4, it's the perfect prime. And my third thing on the list would be 70 to 200. I think if you have a combination of the 24 to 70, the 50 mil, and that 70 to 200, you can really get any type of shoots. You can get booked for any type of shoots, and those three lenses will get the job done. Then if you have to go a fourth lens, I'll probably get to 35 mil. But again, that's my top 35 mil, with having a 24 to 70, you technically have a 35 mil. You just don't have it at that 1.4. So if you ever want to get it at that 1.4, if you want to do nice wedding pictures and be able to have a nice quality on the model, on the couple, and then even a nice background behind them, 35 millimeter would probably be a way to go as far as that. But again, you can do the same thing, just not at that 1.4. And then this 85 millimeter, you technically have it with the 70 to 200 focal length. Only thing is that you can get the 35 and you can get the 85 at 1.4. But that's it for this video, y'all. I appreciate anybody that watched this. I appreciate anybody that got this far. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But this is fun. I'm enjoying this. I'm hoping y'all enjoying it too. Till next time, y'all. Later.